The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Happening now on The Alternative Digital.
Once again, we want to thank our viewers, and also I cannot thank enough the old man, like he has always said, Professor George Wilson Kanyeihamba. When we were away in a few hours ago, as you may be aware, we had him today morning, and when we moved away to, or indeed do other work, he called us and he was like, this is very exclusive. Indeed it is, because the news has never been news unless it is new. And it makes it become news. That's why you have NEW, then when you add S, it becomes like a plural of things which are new, so it becomes the news. As when we are away, the former presidential candidate Kyagulanyi Robert Sentamu most likely gave instructions to his advocates, or those that are representing him in Supreme Court, to withdraw the petition. And you were very hurt. By the time you called me, Prof, you were disappointed. You were so hurt in regards to why this could have happened. Why were you hurt in the first place?
I was very hurt for two reasons. One, I have been supportive of change in Uganda, and I truly believed that Kyagulanyi, as a presidential candidate, had all chances to be elected president. I was not disappointed by the results, partial results as they were declared by the Electoral Commission, because for the first time since the NRM came into power in '86, it showed that the NRM is vulnerable and Museveni is not infallible. He was thoroughly defeated in Buganda, in Busoga, and elsewhere where there was some semblance of free and fair elections. And the Ugandans showed, not just Buganda or Busoga, not even the Kasese people, but overall, that without paying billions of shillings and drawing the national purse, and without intimidation and the killings from the security forces, especially the police, Museveni has very little support in this country. It would have been very nice, and we are all looking forward to what the Supreme Court of 9 judges. Yeah, 9 are they?
Yeah, 7.
No?
No,
9 or 11?
9.
9. I was right. Would have said on this matter, I, as so many other constitutional lawyers, we are looking forward to the final decision
The Supreme Court.
of the Supreme Court. The Chief Justice, Odoro Owinye, had told Kyagulanyi in open court that if he brings evidence, proper evidence, before him on the facts of the case, he would give him proper judgment. That is the Chief Justice of Uganda making a promise to the parties in open court. I have no reason to disbelieve him. In the age, old age decision, Justice Doro Owinye is on record having said, why is the NRM and the government anxious to amend the constitution
Whose ink hasn't dried?
whose ink is not yet dry? That is, his mind is thinking that justice must be done.
I want to ask you, Prof, on behalf of our viewers out there, over the two whom are you disappointed with when it comes to people that were lawyers that were representing Honorable Kyagulanyi and also Kyagulanyi as a former presidential candidate? Whom does your disappointment go to?
It goes to the lawyers. Because if the lawyers, led by Segona, had not perpetuated this myth that the judges are not fair, that the Museveni's judges, Kyagulanyi wouldn't know. He doesn't know these lawyers. So, despite his decision to withdraw, it was, in my opinion, on the advice or bad advice of his incompetent lawyers.
Prof, where do you get the confidence to say that Honorable Kyagulanyi was ill-advised, not the other way around, that he could have himself ill-advised his lawyers, or perhaps he smelled
a few days ago, let me tell you why the lawyers are to blame. Kyagulanyi came here with his assistant to this house. And he said, Prof, what should we do? And I said, I can give evidence of what I saw myself happening in the election. I can come as an expert witness, constitutional lawyer. He agreed. He said, I'll come here tomorrow with my lawyers and you talk to them. And we shall bring a copy of the petition. That is Kyagulanyi telling me, and you can ask him and he will confirm. They stopped him coming to see me.
Let me ask again on behalf of our viewers, Prof. Would you blame the lawyers for not coming here, or you'd rather blame their
No, I blame the lawyers.
Does
I don't blame. Kyagulanyi is a very innocent man.
As an upcoming president, because does that show incompetence? Because how would you have lawyers that don't respect you or respect your opinion in the event that he wants?
President Museveni has been the president of Uganda for over 30 years. But he says the police let him down, everybody lets him down, his ministers are lazy. Isn't he president?
What makes him incompetent? Definitely. So don't you think people would...
I mentioned the Jesus is our God. Those of us who are Christians. He recruited Judas Iscariot. He let him down.
Does that mean...
Now, if people can let down even God himself, what about Kyagulanyi? Kyagulanyi lawyers are mortal. They let him down.
Doesn't the law allow him to hire other lawyers and give in a notice of change of advocates? And why wouldn't he do that if, in your view, you think he was being misled by his lawyers?
Ask his lawyer, one of the younger people who came here. He said, Kyagulanyi agrees with you.
About the choice of lawyers that he hired?
Not about the choice of lawyers, about what we should present forward. So why did they reject? I'm not the best lawyer in town, whatever. I don't claim that. But my voice carries something. Why did the lawyers not accept Kyagulanyi's advice that Professor Kanyeihamba would like?
Prof, I'm going to address you as addressing you as a senior counsel because you were once Attorney General.
Yes. No.
You
see, there are people who are in senior counsel who were not Attorney General. Okay, but you are right.
Yes.
The reason I'm senior counsel is because what I am, not because I was Attorney General.
Okay.
Yes.
This is it now. Ask from you. A client has a right and the powers to fire and hire. Any comment? Because in regards to why wouldn't Honorable Kyagulanyi fire those that you think, in your view, have mismanaged?
Is that what he has told you? You see, for me, I never speculate. Has Kyagulanyi told you that I dismissed them?
No, I'm asking, why wouldn't one dismiss them?
Did I say one doesn't? But did Kyagulanyi do?
No, not yet.
You see, for me, what I have told you is the truth. That he came here to seek advice. You can ask my people. He came here. He took all the trouble to come here. Then I said, I would like to see your lawyers. Then I don't see them.
You just see the...
This is his promise. Now. Then I say he has withdrawn. You can only withdraw when you are already in court, when your lawyers advise you so. Because once a case has gone to court, and the lawyer is representing, he's your spokesperson. It's no good to saying Kyagulanyi withdrew. He must have withdrawn, and I am a lawyer. On the advice of his lawyers. Now, I wanted to go further. How do they know? Or what do they have evidence that the judges were going to dismiss the petition? Do they have evidence?
You cannot ascertain.
They don't have.
Prof.
Nobody has evidence whatsoever that the Chief Justice and his colleagues we are going to dismiss. In the referendum case, one judge, I will not mention him, convinced the other 6, which included me, to dismiss his government's case. So it is possible that between now and the findings publication, that one judge who dissented in one point, because they said 8 against 1, may have persuaded the other 8 to see it his way, just as one of the judges convinced me to find the 2001 presidential election not free or fair. You cannot withdraw your petition simply because you think, or somebody has told you, these judges are not free or fair. You can only judge judges on the evidence of what they have decided, on their decision, not before.
Prof, Senior Counsel, I want to ask, because this sounds like a contradiction, and you will guide all of us.
Yeah, okay, okay.
You say, and professionally, indeed, it is true, that lawyers speak on behalf of their clients.
Yes.
No doubt.
No, they are supposed to.
They are supposed to. Okay, we underline the word supposed to.
So are supposed to.
Yeah.
Now, before this cut is short,
yes,
many of them don't.
Oh.
Once they give them the case, they do their own thing. And they can give you a lot of evidence.
My question.
Yes.
Because I was about to ask, where do you get the belief that the lawyers, with what they are communicating, isn't indeed Kyagulanyi's mind?
Because this is a reality. I'm sure that Kyagulanyi will talk to me sooner or later because he's a friend of mine. Just as Museveni, his government talks to me from time to time. They are also friends of mine. But being a friend does not stop me being a principled lawyer or deciding, giving opinions correctly. Then, if Kyagulanyi got advice from his lawyers that let us soldier on with a petition, and then he refused to accept that advice and decided himself to withdraw, then we don't have to go further. He would make a bad president. Any president who belittles professional advice and acts on his own instinct is not good for any country.
I want to take you back. When we are here, in most cases, you have issues with some lawyers, especially when one wants to manage an area where they do not have expertise. And You have off record been saying some of definitely. You said a few seconds ago that Honorable Segona isn't good. He could be a good lawyer, but not with constitutional matters.
Not constitutional matters.
Do you think?
Let me tell you, anybody who read the Constitution and our judgments, but files those additional grounds of the petition, which were not constitutional, is not a constitutional lawyer. You can be the best lawyer in other areas, criminal law, and second may be good. But I have instructed him, with him. I appeared with him once. I was lead counsel. I know him. So what I am saying, I say it after observing these lawyers.
In your view, do you think the very lawyers, do you think they could have had personal interests vis-a-vis the purpose for which they were hired, or it's a professional mistake, like things went off their hands?
You call it a professional mistake. Mistake, you make a mistake when you know better. I think it is ignorance. Ignorance of, tell me, I am waiting, because somebody has said they bring me a copy of the petition. That is bolting the door after the force has bolted. Because I don't know what they put there. But anybody who understands the constitutional law, if you had given the draft to somebody like Justin Gondantende, to Just Odochi, or to same people, not forget about Kanyeihamba, they would not have done it that way. I guarantee. They would. Why do you have to have amendments within weeks of filing the petition? The petition should do by itself. We never got amendments to ours. Additional affidavit, if you get another witness, yes. But additional grounds of petition, that is amateurish.
So in your view, they were advised by, a NUP with its president, Kyagulanyi, were misled and misguided by their advocates, in your view, because of their ignorance of the constitutional...
For me, when I saw, because those grounds were given, the only grounds I know is the additional affidavits, rather additional grounds, which they put there an application to allow, and Supreme Court rejected. I have told everybody that had I been on the court, I would have agreed with my colleagues that those were not constitutional matters to worry any lawyer or any client who knows constitutional law. And it is from that evidence, I don't know the affidavits they put in. I don't know which witnesses, I have seen some of them. But among those, I have seen very little, if any, affidavit from experts on the constitutional law. None.
One of the reasons you think lawyers ill-advised Honorable Kyagulanyi. Let me ask, on behalf of our viewers on the Alternative Digital and our social media page, Alternative Uganda, how can one pick up this petition now that the person whom citizens had trust in gave him their affidavits and swore them, and definitely putting them onto great danger? He has deserted them due to the ill advice of the lawyers, as you put it. How can any other citizen pick it up? Because the law at a certain point provides that one can pick it up.
The timetable for presenting and hearing petitions was thoroughly discussed in the Constituent Assembly and there was unanimity that after you have had elections, don't let the country, the parties and their supporters, wait for a long time before they know who is their president. And therefore, expedition and quick decisions by everybody involved in evolving the president of the next 5 years is of the essence. And Kyagulanyi originally, if you remember, was in jail. He was prevented from gathering the evidence of his lawyers. When they let him down, I had no problem whatsoever that Justice, the Chief Justice, and his colleagues would have just heard him and extended the time of 30 days in which to make a decision after petition is filed. They would have. I know some of them, others I don't know. But they are all judges who have made an oath to administer justice to all sorts of people. I don't have any evidence to the contrary. The age limit, the Constitutional Court had it. Some of those judges had it. But if you remember, it was a divided court.
Prof.
And even the very least we know, one of the judges, I don't know who it is, you couldn't know even if it was not the Chief Justice, dissented from the others.
My question, Prof, was, and still remains, how can another person pick up this petition?
My answer was, and still is, I don't know whether it can be done, but in the Supreme Court, there is a law which says that in the ends of justice, for the ends of justice, it can make any decision. Those who are qualified to petition are losing candidates. We have about 8 of them remaining. One of them could stand up and they said he thought the Supreme Court would finish and give its reasons and the findings on Kyagulanyi petition. But since he's been advised to withdraw and he has withdrawn it, he's applying as a losing candidate to replace Kyagulanyi. He would like his lawyers to argue the same grounds, because they are the same grounds. He could make such an application to the Supreme Court. Most likely the Supreme Court would be reluctant to allow such an application. But you never know until you have tried.
What is trending out there on social media is that Kyagulanyi's withdrawal of this petition is a confirmation and a congratulatory message to Mr. Museveni for having gone through. What is your comment? To citizens, like now, he has already confirmed.
Those, we Ugandans, I was going to say we Africans, we speculate on everything. Many Ugandans will say Kyagulanyi had chickened out. There will be such talks. There will be such talks that he now acknowledges that he has no evidence at all. And that he has lent credence to that because Museveni's lawyers, very astute lawyers, I know some of them, Kabatsi and so forth, have said, we have examined your additional affidavits. They are forged. The original signatures, they didn't sign the original signature. Kyagulanyi has been misled by people. How do you go and recharge like that? If I was him, I would fight and prove to them that that these genuine signatures are genuine. So for chickening away and resigning at this particular time and say, I am no longer interested, lends credence to the charge that these affidavits were forged, which is
Prof,
terrible.
In my last few questions to you, first of all, you said that petitions or any case, any matters are withdrawn before court.
Yes.
Whom would you blame for this press conference? Could it have been done in court and you withdraw the petition?
Which press conference?
Because the withdrawal of this petition was done through a press, as in they issued a press statement withdrawing this this petition. So who
was present there? His lawyers or what?
The statement, it was issued by Honorable Kyagulanyi. I mean,
alone.
Withdrawing with other politicians, elect, MP elect, okay, MPs elect, for lack of another word, and other people that had gone through. And there were no lawyers at so he summons his members, those that had gone through, and says
really,
they have withdrawn the.
You are asking me to do the impossible. I don't know. My view is that no client does an action like that without having a conversation with the lawyers. He could have said that my lawyers advised me not to continue, but I personally saw there was no point. Of course, a client is entitled to withdraw his services, but some good reasons must be given. In this case, he was also representing me, all the voters. He was also representing Museveni in a way. So Museveni wants to know that he did not become president by theft, but even the courts confirmed that he had been properly elected.
In the language we share, me and you, we say me and you, indeed. People are saturating. What's their propaganda? Definitely, because I am here on behalf. I mean, communicate.
Yes.
to people, to especially seniors.
It's a pity that it applies to Kyagulanyi. But is it proper that when Museveni's lawyers say these documents are dodged,
are forged, and then
you withdraw?
Very good. So MC,
that will be said.
Very good. So those of us that speak the same language, like no sooner had my got
lost, did your dog produce pieces, rather feces with that is a very good chichiga Shinyankole saying.
So for that case, you shall live with people
who in a way, many people who are supporters of the movement, who are opponents of Kyagulanyi, will say but if it is, he had no case whatsoever.
If it is now if it's a goat, there is another goat of an armored vehicle that no sooner had you, I mean, imported or received this vehicle than you withdrew the case. I mean, to our viewers, that means we have a lot to discuss and also dig deep when it comes to speculations. But of course, this does not mean that these are, I mean, these are my views. We're trying to share and the nitty-gritties and a few concerns that any other person. I personally, I woke up early as 5 a.m. to go and vote. He is disappointed because that petition was for all of us as citizens.
It was for all of us.
To see on whether or not we could get some justice. But of course to say, it was meant to test the panel of 9 justices to see on whether or not they are still patriotic. And
we have already known. It is a fact that one of them was on the side of Kyagulanyi. On even these mundane matters of other amendments or petitions. And I have told you, it is possible in a court of 10, 11 for one person to persuade the rest to agree with him. There were many cases like that. I remember one important case where we thought somebody was guilty. 7 of us rather 5 constitutional, rather criminal cases were had by sometimes all of us. And the one justice, the late Justice Asa Odero, convinced all of us that we were wrong, the man was innocent. And we brought a judgment unanimously, 7 of us, agreeing with our colleague, who originally was in a minority of 1. So the fact that 1 judge only
was enough for someone to irrigate and
yes,
on
was sufficient to show all these judges are not of the same pan.
Being an exclusive interview, I want to push these 2 questions to you as the final questions.
Right.
I am sure that you must have heard, at least as a rumor, some time ago when you were an active justice, about either government compromising petitioners. Do you think it is possible?
That what?
Like a government, for some reason, compromising petitioners or petitioning.
I heard that rumors that the government compromised presidential candidates or candidates of other parties. That one I heard.
Do you think
But I have never heard the one where they compromised the petitioner. Because as I have said, a petition is not a one man's business.
This one just
as you can see, I'm bitterly disappointed. If you ask many people who wanted the change in this country, they are bitterly disappointed. And the Kyagulanyi or his lawyers didn't consult us at all. We are disappointed. Secondly, for me, I am of the view that the evidence so far shown, Kyagulanyi could even have won the petition. There are so many points that the lawyers should have brought out, which they didn't, which shows Kyagulanyi really could have won.
When does this withdrawal leave the likes of you and others that had hopes in it?
Well, we are disappointed, but we are not going to hang ourselves. We know that for the next 5 years, unless something dramatic happens, Museveni will remain president. He will still remain our president. My good friend, I have not talked to him, the Prime Minister.
He remains the president, but in bad faith.
Not in bad faith. It would have been in bad faith if the petition had been heard and the majority or even half of the judges had said the election was not free or fair and he stayed in office. That would have been unfair. So but Kyagulanyi has deprived us of that opportunity.
And more or less stamped onto the victory, alleged victory.
And once again, I wanted to conclude with this one.
I have one more question for you before you conclude.
Oh, sorry. This one I wanted to say. I thought Kyagulanyi was different from all our leaders. But the idea that his lawyers or somebody has persuaded him to withdraw because he will not win personally is very disappointing to me. I thought he was working for the whole country. He represented Kanyeihamba and everybody, but now it turns out that he was praising himself. That is very disappointing to me.
Okay, I want to ask you on behalf of our viewers, finally, your colleagues, the pan of 9. So do they have any business with effect from, today after the withdrawal of this, or they are going to get so what are
the Supreme Court is very busy.
In regards to this petition.
Nothing they can do now.
So it's just simply getting the petition and keep it off the shelf.
They will wind up and say, write their ruling to say, while the petition was proceeding, the petitioner withdrew his challenge against the respondents, and therefore there is no business in this petition. That's what they will rule. Indeed,
there is no business in this petition. That is some of the things that we expect, some of the statements we expect from the Supreme Court panel of 9 in regards to this.
Yes.
We cannot ascertain because none of us is told enough to see the future. We can't ascertain what is likely to take place, either, for the entire opposition. But I want to also finally ask, what do you think could be in the minds of the opposition, especially FDC and ANT, which had, for some, in good faith, supported and given in some evidence to Honorable Kyagulanyi?
Actually, that's a very interesting question. Did he consult FDC and DP leadership before he withdrew? That's another failure on his part if he didn't. Because he thought this was personal. It is not personal. It is a national issue. I was in it. You have interviewed me about it. You have interviewed Museveni about it. The Prime Minister commented on it. It was not a personal matter. We must stop personalizing politics. I'm not angry with Museveni. He's still my friend. His government, many of them are my friends, including the Minister of Finance. But I criticize the way they are running this country. And when I do that, and I talk to, he's a very good man, Prime Minister Rugunda. He recently advised me whom to invite on the launching of my book.
I should on camera also confirm to you that while we are away, as you called us, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker Kyagulanyi called us and confirmed he's going to be there.
Very good. I'm very delighted.
So,
thank you.
The real final question to you, Justice Kanyeihamba. If you had two occasions, one being when Kyagulanyi's people were shot at in town and more than 50 people died, and you have another moment like now, when do you think would be ideal for a presidential candidate at a time, now a petitioner, to withdraw? Could it have been ideal for him to withdraw when his people were shot at during the campaigns, or compared to today's withdrawal of this petition?
You see, for me, I'm a lawyer, a seasoned lawyer, and have had experience as a political animal. When you have made up your mind that this election was not free or fair, and I'm going to petition, you no longer have any opportunity or any reason to withdraw. It shows a lack of political maturity. I am sorry to say so. Museveni, Chiza Besigye, I don't think Amriat has said so, have described Kyagulanyi as immature politically. And I defended him very, very strongly at the time. Now I am humbled. His withdrawal of the petition without even as saying, Professor, I am withdrawing, not asking for my advice, withdrawing. And promising he will come here with the petition, and he doesn't.
Maybe he wanted to
as
surprise
it really showed
you
immaturity in politics.
He wanted to surprise you with a withdrawal statement.
If he wanted to surprise me, he was mistaken.
Our viewers, Norman Himbise has been your host today with Professor.
But I still have pleaded before, and I plead now, for President Museveni to consider his love for Uganda and the Ugandans, and in this term, which presumably will now be confirmed and he will be sworn in, since Kyagulanyi has withdrawn,
April 12th,
that he should let us know in this term, as early as possible, that he will not stand again for the presidency, because when this term finishes, he will be in his 80s.
Thank you. Yeah, our viewers, we cannot thank you enough. My name is Norman Tumhimbise. I have been here on behalf of the Alternative Digitalk, but also on our social media page at Alternative Uganda and Alternative Uganda YouTube. Also on Twitter, we are there. I can assure you, we can now authoritatively say that the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Jacob Olanya, is going to be our guest of honor as the old bird, Uncle George Wilson Kanyeihamba, launches his book, The Evolution of Constitutional Law, Public Law, and Government. I can assure you, we'll be there on 26th. Professor Pierre Olumumba will be our guest speaker. Do not miss the occasion, the event, the book launch, and the book itself. Reach on to us for any further info about the book launch. For now, we should say goodbye because this was an exclusive interview with Professor George Wilson Kanyeihamba on hearing that the presidential candidate, former, that is Honorable Kyagulanyi, had withdrawn the presidential petition number 1 of 2021. I can also add from the horse's mouth that he is disappointed because this petition was for all of us, not for an individual.
Thank you very much, Norman.
See you.
You are very kind as always.
Happening now on the Alternative Digital. The Alternative Digital. Real issues, real talk.